What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Hoop Show. My name is Ben Reeve, and I'm joined by an extra special guest this week from the Cats, Brooke the Chook Plummer. How you going?
I'm good. How are you?
They do call you the Chookie around the club, don't they?
They do.
I think I've heard
Chooky, Chocky, anyone.
Yeah, I've heard a few girls calling you that. So thank you for coming on the show. Now, you are our very first current day Cats player to come on our Sunday review show. So as I was saying to you off camera, a little bit nervous about sort of talking about the boys or the team in general with someone who's actually at the club, but I think we're pretty respectful on this show, so we'll handle ourselves well. But thank you for coming on. How are you feeling about pre-season? It's not far away now. I think it's been a long off-season, but into May, I think. Is that right for you?
Yeah, May the 29th.
May the 29th, so that should be a bit of fun. Put in the hard work, and then the season starts sometime early September. Is that right? Or
Yeah, I
God knows, I can't know.
September, the first weekend of September, I'm pretty sure. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of Cats fans, me included, and our mates over at the Chat Cats podcast. We're really keen to get the AFLW season. I wish it was at the same time as the men's. I think that'd be great to sort of be able to talk about both teams at the same time. But we've got the AFLW to talk about as well, so it's always a bit of fun.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are wanting that, the boys and the girls at the same time, but matter of time, hopefully.
Yeah, but yeah, so thanks for coming on. We did have, I think you know this, we had Kate Darby come on our Behind the Play show with Paul. It was recorded a while ago now, but that show dropped the other day. So that was good fun. And we've got Kate Sermon, and I'm going with the Sermon Anna, but I believe you've got a different nickname for her, or she's got a different nickname at the club, Spud or something, Spuddy, or what is it?
Yeah.
Spud, yeah, okay. So she's come over, for those that don't follow the AFLW too much, she's come over from Port, and I think she played for Gold Coast for a bit as well, from memory, so she'll be very handy for us. If she can get a spot, because I'm sure you're going to be pushing pretty hard for playing all the senior games next year, Brooke. I think it's we're pumped. we're seventh flag favourites. I reckon we should be higher than that. I think we should be good to go. Now, I don't know what you were doing on Saturday night, Brooke. Were you watching the footy, or were you watching the coronation ceremony with Prince Charles, or King Charles as he is now?
Nah, I was watching the footy.
Good, very good answer. Good start. Now, if you had to name a king or a queen of Geelong, or both, who would you, of the club, and it can be a player or administrator, support staff, who would they be at the Cats? And it can be whoever. Who's the king of Geelong? Who's the queen of the Cats?
Probably.
On the spot question. Come on.
Oh, yeah. There's a few. Well, it's hard because a lot of people help out. So it's like, I don't know, anyone can be the king. I'd say, let's go BJ, so Brett Johnson. He's a bit of a king himself. Yeah. He helps out and makes sure everything's in line.
Yes.
And then I'd go a queen. Who would I go? I'd go, I reckon, I don't even know.
I was going to say the Gajaka, the Gunj.
Yeah.
I don't know why, I just reckon, yeah, anyway, that was going to be my...
I reckon let's go Gunj in the back line. And
in the men's, I'd probably go T-Bone, Tommy Hawkins, I reckon. He'd be...
Yeah, in the forward line.
He just looks like a bloke on the battlefield swinging an axe. Or maybe the axe himself, Tom Atkins.
Yeah. Jezza Cameron down
Jezza, yeah, I don't know about Jezza. He's more of a larrikin. I'm not sure if I take him that seriously. All right, let's get on with the show. So, a quick rundown if you haven't watched the show before. We're going to talk a little bit about the game that was. We'll do a quick around the grounds. We'll cast our votes before we do the around the grounds, and then we'll have a quick eye on the following week, which I think we're playing the Tigers. At the MCG, so we'll look at that. But before we do that, thank you to everyone who's subscribed and our current subscribers as well. We really appreciate that. We're getting very close to 800 now, so thanks to you. And an extra special thank you to our Patreon subscribers, the two Jareds. We haven't got a third Jared yet. We're still working on getting a third Jared, but so far two is where we're sitting at. So if you're a Jared and you want to join on board, please jump on board. All right, so the Cats, we did the job as we expected we would. We beat the Crows by 26 points. But Brooke, it was a little bit scary there at one point, wasn't it? It wasn't a walk in the park, for sure.
No, there was a lot of pressure on us, but I think one thing as a team, as a senior side, we always come and perform under pressure. So I think the pressure was definitely brought to us by the Crows, but we managed to stay as one and get the job done.
We did. We got the job done with the kids, didn't we? Like there was so many outs. I think we had Rowan and Bowes and DeConning out, and he's a kid himself. But so many young guys in that squad. I mean, the age, if you average it out, it probably looks a little bit older. But there's so many guys that are inexperienced and that came in. You know, you had Segler's been around for a little while, but he hasn't played a lot of games in the Cats or with the Cats system. And then Ollie Dempsey, who came in as the sub as well. And a few of the other guys that haven't really been in the club too long, and some of them really stood up, especially in that last quarter. It was great to see. That's what you want to see.
Yeah, that's it. I think even like Zach Guthrie down the back line.
Big baby,
yep. Yeah, he's been really shining off the half back and helped us out a lot, especially working well with Stewie as well as down there. So they're a good duo, those two.
I was watching the game and I was being a little bit just in the comfort of my own home, a little critical of Tommy Stewart watching the game, but then I'm like looking back later, I'm like, actually, it wasn't too bad. But in the moment when I'm under pressure, I'm like, oh yeah, no, you know, it's like, I expect perfection from Tom Stewart, and even when he's 10% off, he's still bloody good.
Yeah, 100%. And I think like when he was out earlier in the year, we really missed him, and then he came back in and had such a big impact.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah.
It was good to get Tui back in the squad as well. I love it. I think he settled us down a little bit. He's not as productive in terms of he doesn't get as much of the ball as he used to, but he's still very damaging, and you do notice when he's out of the squad as well.
We do put quite a bit of trust in Tui, I reckon. But just the way that he brings players into the game as well, and he loves. I've seen on Instagram and stuff how he involves the crowd as well at the end of the game, gets them rowing and everything. So it just shows like the man he is. Like he's a very person man. Like he loves to bring in the crowd and involve them as much, and bring in his teammates as well. So
it's great to see, isn't it? I think they're calling it. I don't know if the club's calling it the Moroccan wave because of his little Moroccan sunset moustache. So I'm all here for it. I think it's fantastic. I love it. Cats are 5 in a row now. After that 0-3 start, potentially could be better off than what we were. I think we are around about where we were last year. I think we were 5-4 after 9 rounds. So potentially an even better position if we can somehow get over the Tigers at the MCG. So. And I like the 5 in a row better than the actual the win-loss record. I think it's really showing the form that we're in at the moment. So if you sort of start the season from round 4, really, and we didn't want to go too hard too early anyway. It would have been nice to pinch 1 or 2 of those early games, but it is what it is, and we've won the last 5, and it's looking pretty good now. No win's an easy win, and you've got to earn it at that level, but pretty happy with the way things are going.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people doubt us at the start. Like you hear some of the commentators, it's 0, like what you say, it's a record, like no team's ever done this. But in saying that, when we did have a few outs at the start as well, and I think we're just finding our feet. Obviously Joel not in the midfield anymore.
Yep.
So there was a lot of, obviously not everything's on him, but there was a lot of places to fill. And I think when we finally put everything together, obviously it shows on the scoreboard. So hopefully next weekend we get the win over the Tigers and keep putting it on the scoreboard.
You bring in so many new faces in the off season as well, and it's not gonna click like that. And I tell you what, it's not going to click for Tassie when they bring in 40 new players and trying to get going with the system from day one. I reckon if you gave them a bunch of old Australians, they wouldn't click day one. So it's not an easy thing bringing in new players, and I can also, without being connected to the club, and I know you are, but you're probably not privy to everything that's going on, but guaranteed they've made tweaks to the system as well, the way we play. So and adjusting to that, and then just the natural sort of, turning up round 1, it's not quite like a grand final. There's a natural sort of drop off, and other teams have had a head start, so all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and I think like every season you're gonna have something new. You know, you don't want to keep playing the same brand of footy,
You
otherwise,
can't.
you start getting predictable and stuff. So I
Yeah.
think the boys' adaptability has really come into that, and it's starting to show. And yeah, we have some old players who have a lot of experience, and then we have some really young players that have minimal experience in the AFL comp. So it's finding that balance, which I think we struggled at the start.
Yeah.
But I think now that we're connecting the mids with the forwards and bouncing out of the D50 is starting to work for us. So
It's looking a lot more cohesive, isn't it? I mean, the
yeah,
forwards are great, fantastic. The defenders are awesome. It's probably just that midfield that was just struggling to click a little bit, but
yeah,
there's so many signs now of it starting to happen. And I think we said, look, it's some slight differences with the plan. You can't. It's not completely reinventing the wheel from season to season, but you can't go in with the same style and the same plan and the same players. You're going to be too predictable to the opposition. They figure you out doing the one thing in 4 weeks. So you can't go through a whole season these days at the elite level just playing the same style of footy the whole year round. You've constantly got to evolve and your best is if you're playing your absolute. If we play like grand final day last year every week, we're going to be pretty hard to beat, no matter what, no matter how well they figured us out. But
sure.
but you know what? It's not. You can't play like that level
Nah.
week in week out. It's
Nah.
like I'm in a zone a couple of times in my life, in my career, and you get in that zone, and
Yeah.
everyone was in that little zone that day, and it was just perfect.
Yeah, well, I guess like with that, like the title of the grand final, you're up and about all day. Like I've been in a couple of grand finals in my junior career, and like the adrenaline and stuff, like everything, the hype around it gets you up and going. So
What's your
it
record from
obviously,
grannies in your junior career? Are you 1-1 or are you 2-0 or
um,
what? What are you?
I've
Don't say 0 and
played,
2.
I've played in uh three, four grand finals, and I'm 3-1.
Not bad.
Yeah, so yeah, one of the grand finals, our heads weren't really in it, to be honest.
Are you a bit like Lingy, who just kind of can't get over the one you lost? Like the
Yeah,
Cats in 2008, just wins 3, but can't forget about the one you lost in 2008. It
uh,
burns.
yeah. Well, we were. It was actually against research, and I was playing for Yarrambat at the time, and it was we bet the majority of the year. They bet us a couple times, so it was a bit equal, and then came to game day, and yeah, it just came straight over the top of us, and
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't the result, but what can you do? You learn from it and
I think if you've played sport,
celebrate after.
exactly. Yeah, if you've played sport at any level and you've played in a grand final at any level, I know from personal experience, not playing footy, but in other sports, like you won one grand final, you're absolutely on, you can't do anything wrong, and the next one, you don't know if you're Arthur or Martha. It's like it's the worst thing ever. But anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, look, I'm feeling good about you all girls moving into this year, and I'm sure you'll get your 5th granny there. No, I think we'll go deep. I think we'll be deep in the finals this year, as long as we don't, as long as injuries and so forth and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But I think it's building nicely, and I like the list profile that we've got now in that squad. So I think good things are coming. And hopefully, yeah, things are. We always lose a few players at the end of the year and whatnot, but
Yeah.
it's looking pretty good. All right, so I think we're current in the men's. We're sitting, I think it's 7th on the ladder. I know the St Kilda and North game didn't finish too long ago, but I think that puts us about 7th on the ladder, and so that's not too bad really. After I don't have no idea what we were this time last year. I just know that we were similar kind of win-loss ratio, that kind of thing. Probably were travelling a bit more inconsistently
Yeah.
this time last year. So, the 5 straight wins now makes it look a lot better. And it gives us a really nice platform, even with all the injuries that we're getting. And we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But before we get to the bad stuff, Chookey, let's talk about some of the good things from the game against the Crows on the weekend. Now, I've made a bit of a list here, but if you have any off the top of your head you want to jump in or elaborate on what I've said. Now, a couple of these have come from Twitter as well, so we usually put the call out either after the game or the day after on Twitter, gives you ticks and crosses and so forth. This is a bit of a nasty one, but I like the fact that we've smashed the Crows 13 times in a row at Kennedy Park. I like that. I feel bad for them a little bit, but I like the fact that Geelong's a fortress and it's hard to win there. And you better be on if you want to beat the Cats. But you have 20 years now. Next time they come, we're probably due to play on their deck next time. But
well, I think like any team that comes down to the Cattery is got to put their best game forward because Geelong are nearly unstoppable. Like, it's our home turf. We always put on a massive fight there and normally come out on top. So
it's normally bloody cold and raining, especially when these interstate teams come, like Freo and whatnot.
Sure.
I rub my hands together. I'm like, oh, please rain. It's great because they hate it. It's like it's like this country ground they got to come to, and we love it. I love watching it.
Yeah, well, the first time I came to Geelong, I was like, what is this weather like? I was down here in Melbourne. Like, obviously, Melbourne's one of the rainy cities, but not as much as Geelong. We're at Deek and it was like raining, then it was sunny, then it was raining. I was like, oh my God, what is happening?
Like, it was a bit like today's weather. It was just insane. Like, what's going on? I'll get out and do some stuff. No, I can't because it's raining, but whatever.
That's it.
Anyway, so I like that. I did like the start of our second quarter. I thought we were on in that second quarter. I think we banged on five out of the first 6 goals in the quarter, and the Crows came back a little bit there, but it was that sort of champagne footy that we were starting to see again. I think, oh, here we go. Cats are going to pull away a bit. And look, to the Crows' credit, they fought all day long. They never gave it up, even with a couple of minutes to go. You still, as a Geelong supporter, sitting there watching, thinking, oh shit, we're gonna cough this one up. I didn't actually think that, but it was a little close for comfort. But that second quarter was really nice to see. I like that.
Yeah, for sure. And I think like the first one, obviously, watching us for quite a while, not taking anything away from the boys, but we do sometimes start off a bit slow and try and find our feet towards the end of the first quarter, and then the second quarter, right before half time, we start to bring it together, and then we come back in the second half. So it was good to see the boys, like, obviously not the best in the first half, but picking it up towards half time and really locking down on the Crows.
It felt close the whole way through the game, and teams went on runs and so forth. But I looked at the margins at the end of every quarter after the game. I was like, oh, we actually won every single quarter. I wouldn't say it was a 4-quarter performance, in the typical definition of a 4-quarter performance, which is in the realms of dominating for 4 quarters. But we could walk away saying, we won every quarter. So that was pleasing that we didn't have a massive drop-off. And we just respected the competition. The Crows are a good squad. They're going to win a lot more games. It's pretty hard to win at Geelong, as I said.
Yeah.
But, it was a good effort. So really happy with that second quarter. I did like Tommy Hawkins' shot from the boundary there. I'm thinking,
that was a good goal, wasn't it?
I said to my partner, I bet you he'll kick this. It's a wet, sloppy ball on the boundary. He's going to kick this, isn't he? And he surely did.
Well, I think, I don't know, Tommy's always been pretty good from the boundary, with his snaps. So, there's no doubt in my mind that on the boundary line it would get it. And I think that he's just such a talented player in the wet as well, and adjusting. Obviously having a wet footy, it's bloody hard to kick. So, he did really well in the conditions, and obviously being able to put it on the scoreboard.
I think most of us couldn't kick a dry footy 40 metres, and he's kicked it from a narrow angle on the boundary in the wet, at a pretty important moment as well. So that was great. I did like Jez's goal there. Like, he didn't seem to celebrate it too much, but I think he kicked a snap from about 15 metres out. They had 5 players hanging off him, and he's just snapped, and everyone's jumping on him.
The build on that bloke and the strength that he has is incredible. When he shrugs him off, and then he plays I think it was last week, he shrugged a player off and ran just inside 50 and kicked a goal, and he palmed off, and it was just amazing.
He's a freak, isn't he?
Yeah, that's it. And we're so lucky to have him down at the Cattery, because the impact that he's made in the couple of years he's been down here is amazing. From
an outsider looking in, though, we all know he's a great player and he's an absolute gunner, and it's fair to say he's probably, if not the best player in the comp right now, then one of the on the top 5. But I just love, as I said, from an outside looking, just the joy and the fun he brings to games. He's just, and you can tell his teammates really enjoy it as well, and having a bit of fun. It helps when you're winning games to be like that. It does help. I don't know how I'd feel about it if we were 80 points down and he's carrying on, but I love it. It's fantastic, and you want to. Footy's fun. It's a game, and hopefully you enjoy it. Especially at that high level as well. Even at the high level when the stakes are pretty high, if you can have a bit of fun, it's good to see. And as I said, the fans love watching it. So
100%. And I think even people still talk about the crack of the can celebration.
Oh, all the time. T-shirts. I want to get one of those T-shirts at one point with Izzy hanging off his back.
Yeah, I think just a presence he brings, not only for the crowd but the game itself, and the leadership that he shows as an experienced player to the younger ones is phenomenal. And lucky to have him down at the Cattery.
Oh, so lucky to have him. Do you know who we're lucky to have? I reckon Max Holmes. I'm big on Max. I was all chips in on Max Holmes at the start of the year. And he started a little slow, but so did a lot of guys at the club.
Yeah.
But Max Holmes from 55 metres, when you got to kick it, when you got to kick the goal, bang! Yeah. I loved it. Yeah. And he loves the celebration too.
For sure.
It was a great goal.
As a young player, when you get a goal, you got to celebrate, don't you?
Why not? Yeah. As an older player, why don't you celebrate? They're not that easy to get. But no, it was a huge goal in the moment. And he's another one's like, he's going to kick this because he doesn't mind it from 50 out.
That's it.
From a bit of it. I don't know about from a little bit further than 55, but that's probably he's a good range. He's not a bad kick, actually. Quite a lot. Even field kicking's roughly 50 to 60 metres at times as well. Izzy, we spoke about Izzy before jumping on Jesus back, but there was a soccer. I don't know if it was intended to be a shot at goal, but he kicked it off the ground. I think he was kicking it to space so he could run onto it and gather it, but somehow it found its way through the big sticks for the 6 points. That was pretty good as well. And he was having a good laugh about that.
Yeah, I was a bit on edge. Yeah, I was a bit the same. I was hoping, and then I didn't know what he was doing there, but lucky he went through the big stick. So. Oh, well, it went through. So we were lucky on that point.
We got it. Another great goal. I don't know if was it a match sealing. It probably was the match sealing goal. New fella to the club, Ollie Henry. Little handball from Tommy Hawkins at his toes.
Yeah.
Could have done a bit of handball, but it was a little handball on the run there, and Ollie just from the angle just went bang, and he's another one that loves the celebration, doesn't he? He's going, come on.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, I've always loved Ollie Henry.
Yeah.
Me and my auntie actually go for Geelong, and when he got subbed in, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, and he kicked, I think, 3 or 4 goals. Like, the impact that he had as soon as he got on that field was unbelievable, and it just shows, like, he was switched on, and it got him back in the side, which is a good thing for us, having a crummy forward in there and a very skillful one. So, we love Ollie Henry.
He's going pretty well in his first few games at the club, but I reckon he's far away from absolutely clicking and him kicking up 6 goals. I wouldn't be surprised if at some stage he has an absolute bag. He's a different type of player than Stevie J, but he can do things. He can make things happen. It's just a couple of times, a few missed shots on goal, but one day it's absolutely going to click, and he's going to walk away with 5 or 6 goals next to his name. I can just see it happening.
Yeah, for sure. And like his footwear is key to his game as well. Like the way that he gets out of contests, and he uses his fundies to bring his teammates into the game, like especially the one to Tomo, and the way that they convert that to goals is amazing. So we're lucky to have Ollie Henry and in the crumbing forward kind of stage, and he'll only progress from here. Yeah,
he's a mid-sizer, isn't he? He's not a small, but but him and I keep comparing him to Gary Rowan, even though they're probably different players, but they're sort of probably same height and so forth.
Yeah, I reckon they're about the same.
Yeah, or similar anyway.
But even like the game sense that they both share, like Gary, they're both quite quick and quite silky with the ball in their foot. So they're actually pretty good together and make a good pair.
I think Gary Rowan, I think Chucky's probably got the forward pressure, inside 50 pressure ahead of him still. But I think at this stage, I think probably only as time goes on, he does cover the ground a lot better. But yeah, I think it'd be great if we could have both of them in the side moving forward. Whether that happens at the end of the year, who knows? But I'm really liking what I'm seeing so far. Do you know what else I like though? I love a Jezza Cameron hanger with a minute left.
How good!
What's he doing? He's trying to kill himself with 60 seconds on the clock.
I didn't think he was gonna get back up after that one, especially like the way that he landed like on his neck. So I was like, no, like
well, shoulder, neck,
degree, but just shows a tough man he is and gets back up and gets on with the game. So yeah,
and he does an awesome kick. Doesn't quite hit someone on the chest, but God,
when you take that mark, who cares? To be honest.
Oh, exactly. I've forgotten his name. Shit, it'll come back to me in a sec. Don't worry about it. I've been a big fan of Gryan Miers all year and for a few years now, and I haven't liked the fact that he's copped a lot of crap from Cats fans over the journey, but really liking what he's been doing with the club this year, and I think we're just starting to understand his role a bit better as outside supporters as well, and good to see him bob up for a goal was great. And to see Sam Simpson bob up for another couple of goals. Six goals in 3 weeks for Sam Simpson, another one who hasn't had much of a shot at it in recent years. So those two, I'm really happy for those blokes, and hopefully the boys around the club are real. I think it seems that way anyway, that they're really, really happy for those guys, especially with Gryan not getting much love from the fans. There's always one, isn't there? There's going to be one. There'll be someone else, but it is what it is.
That's it. Well, even like what you touched on, having Sam Simpson back in, and the impact that he's had over the past 3 weeks has been exceptional. As a tall as well. Yeah. The way that he's working and being able to put on the scoreboard, and the way the boys get around him, like when he kicked his first goal, was amazing. It just shows the culture down at the Cattery. So I'm sure all the boys are getting around Miers and Simpson, and they'll keep wrapping their arms around him and keep lifting him up every week.
I hope so. It's good to see, and I think they were getting around Mitch Nevitt for his first career goal as well, which was great. He loved it as well. Like, I could see it happening. It's falling at his feet. Oh, here we go. So I jumped up and I was like, get around him. Yeah. It's great. And Paul wanted me to mention. He said, make sure you talk about his vice-like grip and some of his marks that he took. So they were pretty impressive.
They were, weren't they? Yeah.
I liked what I saw there. So that
was
great.
Very strong overhead.
He was very good. One more. It was, I think, another one in the dying stages of the game. I think Isaac Rankin might have been running in towards goal, and I kicked it, and then it was like top of the goal square or near the goal square anyway. And Jed Buse just does a match-saving goal or goal-saving tackle. It could have been a goal, and then I think Duncan sort of got on the end of it and kicked it to Segs, and it sort of settled things down a little bit. But that was a very nervous moment. Jed just sort of stood up when we needed him to. Another one that doesn't get a lot of stats on the stat sheet, but we love what he does around the club. So.
Oh, for sure. Like you're seeing his games, his composure around, and him, even Mitch Duncan, like Ben experienced his composure and being able to help out. Those two together were amazing, especially in those dying pressure moments. Yeah. Credit to them.
I tell you what, who's not winning a gold medal in the 100-metre sprint at the Olympics is Mitch Duncan. I love the bloke, but he's not winning a gold medal in the 100 metres. He looked absolutely destroyed by Isaac Rankin there on the wing, running into 50. But good on him for chasing. Send the right message. It doesn't matter whether you're going to catch up or not. You don't want to be, you got to chase to the end and put all the effort in. No matter. Who knows what happens? You might be on the end of it again, which he was 10 seconds later. So if he gave up 50 metres down the track, he wouldn't have got that ball. And
no.
wouldn't hit Segs on the chest.
But I think, even when you see that, the fight that he showed in his run and then his work rate was good to obviously get the ball again and secure it and being able to compose in the
Yeah.
side that we needed. So and in the dying moments.
Yeah, again,
So
another
yeah,
player, a younger player, or with a more immature head on him, might have just blasted it, and
that's it.
but he lowered his eyes and just drilled it into Seggs' chest, and it was
Yeah.
great to watch. And then Seggs was like, "Slow it down, that's okay."
Yeah, that's it. So
And
the
then
composure, like
yeah,
it's so good, and I think like having the experienced players, like a lot of them in our group, has helped out the younger ones in the
yeah.
composure part. So
Which has been the
yeah,
great thing about the Catters for the last 15, 20 years, just the transition, bring older players, bringing the younger players through, and just being able to grow up in that environment. I mean, it's made it hard to get into the team, and I think a lot of guys haven't been able to have a go of it because you've been drafted and you haven't quite made it, and
yeah,
maybe you've gone on to other clubs, but at least there's so many former Cats that are doing well at other clubs. So clearly, at the very least, it's a great apprenticeship to be
yeah.
around these senior players.
Oh, for sure.
Set yourself up for your career. You get in what you put, you get out of it what you put into it. I suppose.
That's
I'm
it.
sure that's what the coaches will tell you. But
Yeah.
now another tick, not from the game though, not from the game, but from Instagram. Mr.
Yeah.
Gary Ablett Jr. Did you catch that one on
goal.
Instagram, Brooke?
Yeah, the
Up
goal.
in Cairns. What is he doing?
I know.
He's a freak.
He's still a goat. Like I don't think that will ever change wherever he'll go. He'll hold it up and and the goal that he kicked, I've actually watched it quite a few times. Like the way that he come out to contest and gets a handball and runs to the boundary and just snaps it. It's like
On the left, mind you.
yeah, it was insane.
From 40, 45 metres. Felt like half the other team was hanging off him at the same time as well.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But like even when he faced the crowd, it was like he knew it was going, and then he faced the crowd, and they all got up and about, so it was good.
I don't know if it was a cashier or if he was just doing it for whatever, but they definitely got their money's worth with that one, with him coming up for a game. I'm not sure if it's one game or a couple of games, but that was great to see. Now there's always a couple of crosses or some things that didn't go quite so well. And the big one for me that came out of the game is, and for a lot of people on Twitter, was Danger's hamstring injury. And it's the theme this year, isn't it? It seems to be we're getting a lot of these medium-term injuries, but it happens. It's footy. It happens.
Yeah.
And footy's not 20, 22, 23 players. It's a whole list. So sometimes the captain goes down. So it is what it is. But hopefully it's not too bad.
No, well... Yeah, it's gonna happen. Like, you can't really stop it from happening, and I think, it's gonna happen once in a lifetime. So, praises him and hope he recovers well and gets back out in the field soon. And and
I think we've got 4 weeks to buy around. So whether they take it easy on him, you wouldn't want to bring him back a week before and then him to ping him again, so probably be conservative, I'd have to think.
Yeah, but they'll look after him. He'll know what's right for him, and hopefully he gets back out, because we need him in the midfield, in his speed, and to exploit out a contest. So
good thing we've got another bull there ready to go in Max Holmes, and a good leader in Tom Stewart that'll will go out there, which will be interesting against Richmond when he goes out on the weekend.
Yeah, well, even Blitz.
Yeah, I love Blitz.
Like out of the ruck, his ruck work, and then being able to follow that up. So we have a few in the inside mid that can really help us out when Danger's out. So.
And I'm yet to find anything that Blitz can't do. I'm not sure if he can play cricket or there's got to be something that man can't do.
I know.
We'll have to figure it out.
When he kicked the goal as well, it was insane.
He's a freak, that man. We love him. He's another one that's just getting better year after year.
Yeah.
I mean, he was good last year, and if he doesn't get All Australian again this year, I don't know what's going on. But hopefully he stays fit and healthy and good to go. I was a little bit concerned as I was doing the notes for this show that I thought the match review panel would probably have a look at Brad Close, and sure enough, they've offered him a week, which came through the news a couple of hours ago. So, no, I haven't seen any news from the club about whether they'll accept it or not, but 1 week, probably take it. I don't know. It didn't really look a whole lot. It was really on the lighter side of a dangerous tackle to me. It's almost like he hung on and the guy was already falling to the ground, but But anyway, I don't know. Have a week off and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's what can you do? Like it happened to Georgie Pressparkis last year, and
Oh, yes.
yeah, you got to cop it on the chin,
Yeah.
and whether club fights or not, you got to do what you got to do, and whether that's taking a week off or fighting it, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's their decision. So.
And apart from yourself, Chooky, Closey's our number one on this show. He's our we love Closey. He's our number one. We love everything he does, and I'd hate to see him miss because.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he's an absolute jet,
Yeah.
and a great asset to our side, and it's another one who has really good fundamentals that
Yes, he
bring
does.
up
Yeah, exactly.
just an asset to our team and helps us get it forward. So yeah, it's definitely gonna be disappointing to see him miss a week if that's what it comes to.
If that's what happens, look, I would not be surprised if they challenged it, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they said that's a week.
Yeah,
have a week off. Well, he's not one of our older players, but gives another guy an opportunity to have a run, and that's not a bad thing either. I think you want to try and play as many guys, especially in the first half of the year. We've won the last 5, so it's not like we're struggling. I hate seeing them miss games.
Yeah, well, and I think coming up against the Tigers, not saying anything bad about them, but they've been struggling for quite a while, especially this season. So it's not such a bad game to miss out on if it's any game. So
now I don't know I don't know if you're allowed to comment about the next one. Now this comes off Twitter, but this is one of the umpires. I think Nathan Williamson. I think I'm not sure if you're allowed to talk about umpires, but not a lot of love from the crowd. Some of the decisions or non-decisions paid there. So. But that's umpiring. Umpiring's a tough gig as well, and they make good decisions and bad decisions, and I think 2 good clubs going at it, hammer and tong in the wet. I think a lot of the time, especially those non-decisions, they were probably just putting the whistle away a little bit and letting it go.
Yeah.
In the nice dry conditions on the MCG or whatever, you'd probably pay a few more of them. But anyway, we'll leave it there. But I had to mention it, but I've seen worse. Just say
that's
that.
it.
This is a bit of a silly cross, but I didn't like the lack of seating at the Academia Park. But what can you do? The grandstand's not ready yet. It's hard to get a ticket these days if you're a Geelong's paid up member. It's really hard to get a seat. But hopefully, I don't think we'll get it this end of this year, but hopefully, definitely start of next year. Be nice to have 40,000 there cheering both our teams on, the men's and the women's. How great would that be? Yeah, how insane will that be, running out in front of 40k?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I think starting training there and seeing the build, it's come quite a long way, and it'll be good, especially for the windbreak as well. We're down in windy Geelong. It'll be good to have the stand up and stop the wind a bit. But
it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it will also be good just to have so many more people able to come, and we've just hit record breaking with our members as well.
That's right.
So Steve Hockey announced that the other day. So
73,000, I think it was. Something around about that anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like 73,303 or something around that. So it was good to have record breaking members aboard, and our AFLW members are going up as well, which is another good thing. Like, the more that we can promote that is better for us and better for the club as well. So
that's why we like getting a few of the players from AFLW on our show, and we do our best, and as do our mates at the Chat Cats as well. We like to support everything you're doing, and we know you guys work really, really hard to support the work you're doing as well. So, any opportunities you want on our show, you're more than welcome. Anyone that wants to come on, we'll happily give you some airtime. Not a problem. Any other bad one? Yeah, the lack of seating, but it'll be great. The converses come end of the year, early next year, maybe towards the end of the AFLW season. Maybe that'll be the first time we open it. It'll be magic. It'll be absolutely magic.
Sure will.
Oh, mate. Now, Adelaide, there was another team that played. We talk a lot about Geelong. This is a very one-eyed Geelong show. I make no bones about that. But in terms of Adelaide players, I thought Jordan Dawson, he's a captain, I think, played pretty well. He had 29 touches for them, looked really good. Some other good players. Rory Laird, I really liked his game. Didn't get heaps of it, but had 14 tackles. So I love a tackle. 14 tackles is pretty good. Isaac Rankin, just for Geelong supporters. Every time he went near it, I was packing myself. He kicked a couple of goals. So I thought, look, they were pretty good. I was probably an even game from them, just like it often is with Geelong, taking out Jeremy Cameron most weeks. But the rest of the club was pretty even. So I think that was probably the case with both sides as well. I don't know. I don't want to pick on a young player, but I thought Josh Riccardi, the young guy from last year, didn't get a lot of it, but it's a pretty good defence at Geelong, and so he wasn't getting a heap of touches. Had one tackle as well, probably going the other way. But that's okay. You have your good days and bad days, and he's a young player, so he'll be a star of the comp in a few years, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, it's hard. Like as you say, we have such a strong defence, and we've have quite experienced backline, so it's going to be hard for their forwards to get the ball, especially when we lock it and exit it quite fast. So.
They've turned that club. I think Stewie was saying it. The turnaround in that club in such a short amount of time to be threatening Geelong on their home deck after where they were last year and the year before. They've done really well considering all of that. So hopefully their fans are proud of the effort they put in anyway. I would be as a Geelong supporter.
Yeah.
If we went over there and lost by a few goals, especially struggling a fair bit. Now, a few other games around town and the country going on. Brisbane beat Carlton by 26 points. Josh Dunkley was in Supercoach beast mode. If you if you're into your fancy, I have done it years gone by, but I haven't done it this year. But he was absolutely racking them up. In that game, Richmond defeated West Coast in the game of the round. Not really. 46 points. Dion Prestia was pretty okay. Three goals from him. No Trent Cotchin getting managed for that game. So potentially he'll come back in next week.
Hopefully
against the Cats. Be good to see him come back and get towed up. And then the D's. Got over the Suns by 5 points. Very close game there. There was a bloke, Darcy McPherson from the Suns, had a chance to tie it up from about 40 and didn't quite make it happen, unfortunately. That hurts. But there goes the 4 points. So Suns
I think Suns have picked up their list in their game this year, so I think they're putting on a bit more of a fight this year compared to other years, which is kind of good to see. So
I hope they don't finish 9th or 10th or something like that, because they're so close. They haven't played finals yet, and I just hope they can keep it going, and somehow pinch that final spot in the 8th or the 7th or 8th or something like that.
That's it.
It'll be good for the game, and be nice for them to have some success especially a lot of those foundation players or those players that have been into the club and stuck through it and for a long time. It'd be good for them to have a bit of success. The Doggies beat the Giants I guess we call that a rivalry, those two clubs. They seem to, especially in the men's, they seem to go at it pretty hard most times.
Yeah.
They got over the Giants by 15 points. Bontempelli, probably another 3 Brownlow votes. He's always going to be hard to catch. He's dominating this year. I reckon he's going to do it. I reckon this is the year for him.
Yeah, like his craft work. And like a lot of people talk about the craft work, the pressure, the way he brings in his teammates and uses his run and the outside of the ground and really spreads it out. You got Trelaw in there who's doing quite well as well. And Cody Waitman, sorry.
Cody Waitman,
He's in there as well. And is it, what's a new place? Ari or something.
Oh, yeah. It might come back to me in a bit.
Yeah. Well, he's doing quite well. Like he's little slinky player. Like he's in and out and the forward line, and getting a couple of cool goals. So good on him for that.
There was the Cats player that I forgot his name earlier in the show. Tanner Bruin, the goal at the end. After Jeremy Cameron took the mark, he bombed it. Tanner Bruin bombs up. Yeah, I'm here. I have arrived. Because it took a little while for him to find his feet. But hopefully that goal gives him the little boost he needs. And
everyone's been talking about that goal. So yeah, good on him for that, and hopefully he keeps putting him on the scoreboard because I think he's got a great future ahead of him, and he'll be. Hopefully, he gets a bit more consistent, like you say. But I'm sure he'll be up there for sure.
Yeah, it was great to see him really stand up with a lot of those other young guys, and especially in that fourth quarter, getting some of those clearances out of the middle and blind turns and getting that goal. I mean, the goal's generally a result of a 4 or 5 year teammates' good work as well. Yeah. Someone's got to finish it off, but it's not usually just one guy.
And lucky with Tanner, so
yeah. So really, really happy for him there. Now, Freo got over the Hawks by 69 points. Not really much to say about that game other than Luke Jackson looks like he's starting to find his way at the new club.
Yeah.
Looked a lot better in this game. But, didn't really expect much from Hawthorn. Really, so pretty standard sort of loss for them. It seems to be piling up those big losses at the moment, those 10-goal losses. Who else we got? Port defeated Essendon by 5 points. That was a pretty good game, actually.
That was. I thought Essendon. To be honest, I thought Essendon would have come over the top of Port.
Yeah.
Like the way that they've been playing, and you got Tipper back, and you got Sammy Draper in there, and
he nearly kicked goal of the year, Sammy Draper.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? So you've got like those type of players in there that you'd think you'd pull over the top, but credit to Port, they obviously must have been a really strong competitive game. So
it's five straight for Port now. So
that's it. So bring on us.
Yeah, well, a few weeks, not too long ago now. Not too long to go, I think. So
no.
Yeah, no, Port's looking pretty good, and Bombers 3 in a row unfortunately lost, but they haven't been too far out of it. It's just I felt the opposite actually. You were saying you thought Bombers would roll over the top. I actually thought when the Bombers were holding the lead, I thought, they're doing really well. It's going to be a tough loss for the Bombers considering they've been leading most of the match, but unfortunately it went that way in the end, and they didn't they had their chances, but unfortunately Port was just on their home deck, probably too good in the end.
Yeah. It's always a home deck.
And speaking of too good, the Pies, no one can beat them. They're too black. I thought Swans might have had it, and they got up a fair bit at one stage, and then
I think, I think the Swans did so well to lock down Nick Dacos. Like everyone's talking about Nick Dacos, but he's a talent. That's what he is. That's why Collingwood recruit him. Like he obviously I've heard a lot of stories about his dad and stuff like that, but the way that Sydney locked down on him and restricted him and his disposals and his impact on the game was incredible, and it gave the other players to stand up.
Oh, look, he's been fantastic in 1 and a bit seasons, but they're going to try the clubs are going to try different things against him, and he's going to have some rough trots as a lot of the young players go through that. Once you start getting good, the spotlight comes on you, and all of a sudden, actually gets a little bit harder. So, we've seen it with a few of our players over the years as well, and it's hard to push through it. And hopefully he does. But he's a gun no matter what. 20 touches. I don't know what he got in the end, but it's better than most.
I think he got 23. I think, but
we're calling that a quiet game. 23.
Yeah. Oh, normally he's I think the week before he got 32.
Exactly. That's the standard that he's setting for himself. Yeah. It's a bit like Tom Stewart, I was saying before. He set such a high bar. Yeah. You drop off a little bit, and it's like they're coming at you.
Yeah.
So,
that's it.
He's a gun. He was a lot of talk for him in the Brownlow. I don't think it'll end up. I think it'll be one of the more your senior sort of players that have been up there and about.
I reckon the Bond.
The Bond is the man. One other game, last game to round it off. Second best game in the round. Saints are pretty good. So Saints versus North. Saints got the job done by 5 goals. Jack Siebel, 18 marks. Bit of back to side, kicking side to side in the back line. I don't know how. I didn't watch the game, but 18 marks is pretty good no matter how you spin it.
That's it.
Dominating the air.
I think Clarko's done quite well down at North, and even though they're not getting the wins, but you see on their socials like the culture. Jai Simpson's done well as captain or as co-captain. Obviously Siebel having the experience that he has and helping out the young guys who've come in the team, and has like Sheasel, like what a great player he is playing at the moment.
Good to watch him.
Oh, 100%. And going from NAB League and then obviously All Australian like Will Ashcroft and like those players that have come in this year have excelled and, are only going to continue to grow.
There's a lot of young guns in the AFL at the moment,
Yeah.
and AFLW, by the way. I'm looking at you. But a lot, sorry. Lot of it's great to see a lot of these young guys really just taking it up to some of the older guys. And like, I can actually play this game. Maybe that's that. Maybe it's your generational thing. It's like I don't have to wait my 5 years. I'm hitting the ground running day one as soon as I walk into this club. This competition is mine, and that's how it is. And get used to it. But you're seeing a lot more of it with some of these guys now. It's good to see that they're ready to go. And for others, look, if it takes a little bit longer, it takes a little bit longer. That's okay. Sometimes they sneak up on you and they, hang on, where's this guy come from? Sometimes it takes 3 or 4 years. It's the way it is. So that's all the games from this week. Now, looking ahead as we start to wind down the show, Chookey, we've got the Tigers next week on Friday night. I'm not sure what the weather's looking like there, but as we said, Danger won't be there for that game. Closey's probably not going to play as well unless he gets off on that sort of suspension one week at this stage. I think it's like 6th or 7th versus 15th or something like that on the ladder. So on paper, Cats should be very, very strong favourites.
I think even with our outs, we still have very strong people and especially in our back line. And we have our very strong forward line as well. So if our midfield can get the clearance without danger and hopefully Maxi Holmes has a good game and Blitz gets it out and does his ruck craft and Sammy Simpson's able to get his hands on the ball. All these players that can contribute to the game, if we work together as a team, I'm sure we can get the job done.
Sure.
And run over Richmond.
Yeah, I think it'll be good to get back onto the wide MCG again.
Yeah.
Where we were so good last year, so dominant. It's fantastic. I don't know. Danger not being there, bursting out of the middle worries me a little bit. But that he misses chunks of years gone by anyway. So and usually we cover pretty well. So and who knows? We might get 1 or 2 other players back in. I'm not sure. I'd love to see another player debut. I think it's going to get a lot harder for debuts as we get into the business end of the season. So,
especially when we're winning and we're so strong as a team. Even Isaac Smith, his experience and his run and long kicks. You've got him as well.
He's built for the MCG. He's absolutely built for it.
That's it. So even him, putting some load on him as well. So. Yeah. There's obviously other players, but you want to lean on the more experienced players, especially up against Richmond. They'll always bring a fight. So the more experience we have, and even the younger ones who've played, it'll be good for us.
Yeah. Well, hopefully Mitch Nevitt keeps his spot because I think, to me, I said it on a preview show during the week. I think it looks to me like the kind of guy that just needs a lot of games to sort of feel like he belongs at the level because he just seemed a bit too eager, a bit too nervous sometimes when he's got the ball. And I think give him time in the team. He probably won't be there at the end of the year. Look, prove me wrong, but I think we'll probably settle on a few more of a senior side towards the end of the year. Ollie, he didn't get much of a run on the weekend. I'm not going to come down too hard on Ollie Dempsey too much. But whether there's some other guys in the VFL that haven't been tested yet that get a chance, like Phoenix Foster's just taking her breath away at the moment. Second game and he's kicked another couple of goals. He's great with the kids, as in the fans and all that. While he's been away, I've just looking at from afar, just seeing the way he sort of bought into the club and the fans and all that. That's great to see.
Yeah, even Jai Clark.
Jai. Well, he's the obvious one that we want to see. He didn't play. I don't think he played the VFL after being an emergency for the Cats. So I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
So hopefully, we'll
talk it up. You never know. It might happen.
Maybe. So who knows? So hopefully, as much experience that we do get, like you say, we do make a debut. Hopefully. Because like you say, later in the year when it comes more serious and. When it comes to finals, you really got to start locking down your team. So, but good luck to them all and hopefully...
Well, there was a bloke played for Richmond, debuted for Richmond in a grand final, so you never know. You always got to hold out Marlene Pickett. You never know, hey? Could happen.
Who knows?
We'll see. We'll see if it does. Going into this, we've won the last 3 against Richmond by, I think it was an average, I've written it down, average of 35 points. So not a long streak against them, but have seemed to have had the wood on them in recent games anyway. We can't not talk about Jack Henry's mark last time.
Yeah.
Match-saving mark and goal. That was great.
Yes.
Fantastic. Hopefully we'll see something like that again. Hopefully it's not so close. And hopefully we get more than 28,000, which Tigers got on the weekend against West Coast. Hopefully we get like 50 or 60,000 there on a Friday night. Not sure what the roadworks are like coming from Geelong and the trains and all that, but that's usually the thing that slows us down a little bit, and if the weather's pretty poor, but it'd be nice to get a big crowd.
Yeah, well, normally a Friday night game is pretty big, and hopefully it's played at the MCG.
MCG, but Tigers struggling a little bit, so 10,000 of their fans might stay away, possibly.
Yeah, so I reckon our fans will
I think we'll turn up. I think our normal numbers that will turn up to an away game at the MCG will probably come. It's just whether the Tigers supporters turn up. Hopefully they do. It's good to have a big crowd. Playing on the MCG in front of a big crowd's great. And Tigers, look, they're struggling. They got the win against West Coast, but they've won 1 out of 6. And I'd say, just chatting to a Richmond fan this morning, he wasn't overly convinced by the way they played against West Coast.
Yeah.
But in saying that, Chookey, I'm putting it out there. There's going to be a massive upset. I have a really bad feeling that the Tigers are going to do us by a couple of goals. I've just got this horrible feeling in my gut. So that is my prediction. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope it doesn't come true. But I am predicting a nightmare on the MCG on Friday night.
Yeah.
I don't want that to happen. That's not based on science. It's just a gut feeling that I've got.
Yeah, good to the Tigers, I'll bring it, but I think we'll still hold it. I reckon now momentum that we've gone through, and I think we've got it, for sure.
Yeah, I hope so. Anyway, a bold prediction for me would be Brandon Parfitt gets recalled into the team and just goes nuts and has 10 plus tackles. I'd love to see him come in and just lay the hurt on a few of the Tigers through the midfield and bob up for a goal or two as well. That'd be nice. But that is my bold prediction. The next 4 weeks looking okay. So we've got the Tigers next week. We're off to Western Australia to play Freo the week after that. Then I think we're back home against GWS and then the Bulldogs at Captain Marvel Stadium in 4 weeks' time from now. So I'm looking at that and I'm thinking probably drop one of those maybe. I mean, it's pretty hard to win 4 straight. They don't just guarantee these wins. So I reckon a 3 out of 4 would be pretty handy there. How's your confidence level over the next month looking at sort of that? Are you feeling like we'll continue on with this streak of, 5 in a row at the moment, or we're going to drop one or two, or?
I think there's going to be a few close games, like the Bulldogs, possibly Freo.
That'll be a tough one, that one. Freo's so unpredictable.
Yeah, and I think, who knows, like...
Doggies are starting to turn the corner a bit. Doggies are starting to...
we're flying up, and normally we go not too bad. Like, we're a bit of both when it comes to travel. So, we'll see how we go, but hopefully we win them all, and who knows, we might have... I suppose a couple of losses isn't as bad, but
it's not
we
the end of the
obviously
world.
want the win.
It's not the end of the world if we drop 1 or 2, but it is what it is. And you can't sit there as a Geelong player and say we're gonna get done by Richmond. So that's my job. I'm allowed to do that. You've got to be the eternal optimist. You don't have to be, but I'm assuming you'd rather be the eternal optimist than just say that. So that's fine.
Positive.
Mate, it's been a great show. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. To anyone that's watching, if you haven't already subscribed, please give us a subscribe, a like, a share, a comment, all that fun stuff. And you talked about your Instagram before. I can't remember the handle. What's your handle for that one again? If people want to follow you on Insta?
Plummer Brooke.
Plummer Brooke, that's pretty easy. Can't go wrong with that.
Easy as.
Mate, thank you for coming on the show. We'll sign off. As we always say when we sign off, go Cats. See you, everyone. Take care.